Hello friends, my name is Willow and I'm always wondering why. I'm sure you are too. I'm here to discuss all things true crime and hopefully get your thoughts on it. I'm always a curious little one. Disclaimer, the following presentation is for mature audiences. It contains graphic descriptions of crime scenes, adult dialogue, and strong language. Viewer discretion is advised. Hi, my name is Willow. Yes, that's my real name. I love it now, but boy, when I was growing up, kids were ruthless with my name. I'm here because I've always been fascinated by true crime. What makes them tick? Is it just a moment you lose control, revenge, jealousy, frontal lobe damages? There's so many different types of murder that occur, and we're going to talk about a ton of different murders on this channel. Since the pandemic hit 2020, murder rates have gone up almost 40%. 36% to be honest, according to crime data. So I want to talk about some of the crime that's happened recently and in the past. This is my first episode of what I hope to be many, many, many more. It would be nice if there wasn't murder, but we don't live in a perfect society. Nobody should be murdered. So because of these stories are going to be so dark, I wanted to start off dipping my toe in the water and telling you about this amazingly strong girl. This story is about the abduction and captivity of Jaime Lynn. Jaime Lynn was a typical 13-year-old girl who liked jazz dancing, figure skating, volleyball. She loves to shop, Starbucks Frappuccino, who doesn't, and her dog Molly. She was an 8th grader at Riverview Middle School in Barron, Wisconsin. Barron is a small town located in the northeast corner of Wisconsin with a population of around 4,000 people. Jaime Lynn was born July 13th, 2005, and was the only child of James and Denise Kloss. Both Mr. and Mrs. Kloss worked at the Jennie-O plant for 27 years. James loved the Green Bay Packers and the Wisconsin Badgers. Denise loved working in the gardens, feeding the birds, and helping anyone she could. She was the planner of the family's birthdays, anniversaries, marriages, or parties. She would just make it happen. They were beloved in the community. Just like any normal day, Jaime boarded the school bus with her friends, completely unaware that she had attracted the attention of 21-year-old Jake Patterson. Jake had a job at the nearby Saputo cheese factory in Alameda, Wisconsin. On his way to work in early October, he got caught behind the school bus on Highway 8 when he had no idea who she was. Just that he knew in that exact moment that that was the girl he was going to take. How unbelievably creepy is that? Just gives me the chills. One of those unfortunate moments, probably not even a moment, just mere seconds when he knew. Patterson immediately went to Rice Lake Walmart in Wisconsin to buy items to use in it. The abduction, essentially putting his murder kit together. Could you imagine shopping for something like that? Like, how would you do it? Would you make a list, or would you just cruise the aisles thinking of what you would need next? Balaclava, check. Gorilla tape, check. Zip ties, check. Like, how disgusting. On October 15th, 2008 at 12:53 a.m., Jake Patterson took his father's 12-gauge Mossberg shotgun because he had done his research and knew that the Mossberg brand was one of the most heavily manufactured and assumed it would be difficult to trace. He stated that a 12-gauge slug would inflict the most damage on someone, and it would most likely result in their death, the best choice to kill with. With his head shaved, his disguise on, his balaclava up, Patterson got into his sister's car and drove over to the dark house. Jaime woke her parents up because she heard a car pull into the driveway. As he crept up to the house, he saw James Kloss standing in the picture window with a flashlight trying to see who was outside. Jake pounded on the door, yelling to open the door. Jaime's father was demanding to see a badge, mistaking him for a police officer, looking out the small window when Jake shot him right in the face. Jake then tried kicking down the door. With no luck, he shot the lock, entered the home, and started his search for Jamie. Denise and Jamie were holding each other in the bathtub. Denise had managed to call 911, but nothing was audible and was forced to hang up.
County 911, where is your emergency? Somebody I just want from. Hello?
Had called back but got no answer and dispatched police. Patterson told investigators he searched the house and quickly smashed his way in, ordering Denise to tape up Jamie with the Gorilla brand tape. Denise was struggling to tape her daughter, probably trying to buy some time for the police to show up. Jake got so frustrated and put the shotgun down, taped Jamie's wrists and ankles together as well as her mouth and her head completely. Took aim at Denise's head and shot, killing her instantly. He dragged Jamie across the yard, put her in the trunk, past all the police cars with lights and sirens responding to the mayhem he had just called. The entire kidnapping and murders had taken less than 4 minutes. 4 minutes! Think about how fast that is to lose your whole family and to be taken. Jake Patterson arrived at his family's cabin in Gordon Douglas County, Wisconsin, 70 miles north. When he pulled Jamie out of the trunk, he saw that she had urinated herself. So he made her strip down and put on a pair of his sister's pajamas. He then burned all of her clothes, the tape, his clothes, and his gloves. He had made a space under his twin-sized bed. Not surprising that he never had a double or a queen to share with anyone. He had the bed pushed up against the wall. When he would leave, he would place totes and barbells and free weights and everything he could so that she could not escape. A few times he thought she had tried to escape, he would throw this huge scary tantrum, smashing things against the wall, screaming at the top of his lungs so that she would not try again. The next part surprises me. He actually had the moxie to invite his friends and family to come over. Nice choice of a friend, but I guess you never really know anybody. I still think that there had to have been some kind of sign that there wasn't right with him. So these friends would come over, or his relatives, even his father would come over. He would make her hide under the bed, telling her bad things would happen to her if she didn't do it. He said Jamie knew what he was capable of and said he would make her stay under the bed with no food, water, or bathroom breaks, sometimes for 12 hours straight. She said once he hit her extremely hard with the handle of a tool when she tried to get out from underneath the bed. She remembers him saying next time will be much, much worse. Patterson confessed that around Christmas he left Jamie to go spend Christmas for 12 hours with his family. As he held Jamie in captivity, he would be constantly checking the media and figured after 2 weeks he had gotten away with murdering 2 people, kidnapping their 13-year-old daughter. On Thursday, January 10th, the 88th day of captivity, he told her he would be gone for 5 to 6 hours. After he left, Jamie was able to push her way out of the bins and weights and crawl out. She put on a pair of his sneakers and made it her break for freedom. Not knowing where she was, she just ran and eventually became upon a woman walking her dog, a social worker named jeannke-annis. Jamie quickly told the woman her story and that he had killed her parents. Jeanne reacted quickly and took her to the neighboring home of Peter and Kristen Kasanakis. Very sorry if I mispronounced that. where they quickly summoned the police, asking for a quick response in case Jake came back. Peter grabbed his shotgun and was ready for him just in case. The kindness of strangers is sometimes so amazing. I wish people would be more kind to each other. While Peter kept guard at the front door, his wife Kristen was trying to calm the panicked Jamie by telling her people kept faith she would return, such as wearing green in honor. Patterson came home and realized Jamie was gone, but he still knew that he was fucked, and he still went out to look for her just in case. He was quickly apprehended and got out and just said, "I did it." Jamie smiled when she was told he was in custody. The crazy thing is that when an officer was taking Jamie to the hospital to be checked out, they actually passed Patterson going in the opposite direction. As she rode with the deputy, she even managed to laugh when the officer attempted some light humor. What an amazing little girl. Reunited with her family in Barron and Douglas, community authorities began to assemble the pieces of Patterson's crimes. They were shocked to learn that this whole thing had been a random act. Patterson told police how he carried out the murder and the kidnapping and shared his version of the events, stating that if it wasn't Jamie, it would have been another girl. He said he began to fantasize about taking a younger girl, which he preferred, disgusting, after he left the Marines in 2015. I could not find much on Jake's upbringing or his family. His parents divorced in 2007. He graduated Norwood High School in 2015. He enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps but was discharged after just 1 month. He worked at the Sargento Cheese Factory. He has an older brother, Eric Patterson, 24, whom has a criminal history for 4th-degree sexual assault and felony drug dealing. Eric moved to Leadville, Colorado for a few years, where he worked at a Subway shop, and a manager told Fox 9 that he did a poor job and smoked a lot of pot. In fact, Eric Patterson also has 2 felony convictions in Wisconsin for manufacturing and dealing marijuana. One time he actually lived at the house where Jamie was held, but he has been completely cleared in the investigation. Jake acted completely alone. Jake also has a sister, Katie Patterson, with whom he used her car, probably unknowingly. I never found any information that they grew up in a strict house or dealt with any abuse, but that does not mean it didn't happen, nor does it mean it's an excuse. It seems his family is devastated by his actions. His father has been quoted saying he is heartbroken for the girl and he's struggling to make sense of it all. His mother has changed her name to Frey. Jake Patterson was convicted of killing Klaus's parents and kidnapping her for months until her escape after pleading guilty to 2 counts of intentional homicide and 1 count of kidnapping in March 2019. Patterson was convicted to 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole plus 40 years in May 2019. The brave teenager said in a statement for Patterson during sentencing that he could never take away her spirit. She watched his routine and took her freedom back. Jake Patterson can never take away my courage. She said he thought he could control me, but he couldn't. I feel what he did is what a coward would do. What I did was brave. He was not. What an amazing young woman. And her resilience and strength is absolutely inspiring. I'm wearing a green shirt in support for Jaime Lynn Klaus. Now quickly I want to tell you another little weird side story of this case, which is completely bizarre. 12 days after the Klauses were murdered and Jamie was kidnapped, still missing, Kyle Jeannke-Annis was caught breaking into the family's home to steal some of Jamie's clothes. Investigators had set up cameras in case the perpetrator came back to the scene, which we all know from watching TV happens. Investigators cleared him of the kidnapping. Investigators cleared him of the kidnapping of Jamie and the murder of her parents. He pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor theft and was sentenced to 2 years probation. Like, I don't even know where to begin. That's absolutely disgusting and pitiful. I wonder if maybe he was one of Jake Patterson's friends and was trying to get her clothes. Or if he was just a creep that wanted a missing girl's panties. They kind of seem like they might have been friends had they met. Maybe they did. Who knows? Why would you want to steal a missing girl's clothes? And why would you want to steal a missing girl? I guess that's something only they can answer. On January 10th, 2021, the Kloss family celebrated 2 years since Jamie summoned the strength to save herself. I'm going to read you a public message the Kloss family posted on Facebook. We are very thankful for everything that has happened on this day 2 years ago, for Jamie's bravery, for Jeanne, Kristen, and Peter, for all being at the right place at the right time and keeping Jamie safe. We are still very thankful for the community, to the whole world for being there, and to law enforcement who work tirelessly to seek justice. Jamie is doing good. We take life day by day. She's enjoying dance school activities as well as many other things as much as possible now dealing with COVID restrictions. She's surrounded by lots of loved ones. We want to say and remind others, never take life for granted. You never know what tomorrow will bring. Always remember to tell your loved ones you love them. Direct words from Jennifer Nailberg Smith, Jamie's aunt and guardian. I want to sign off giving Jaime Kloss my respect and admiration. Your bravery and tenacity is absolutely inspiring. Be kind to each other. If you see something, say something. Stay healthy and stay happy. Please remember to hit the subscribe and the like button. There are many, many, many more videos to come.